So this video is all about Thoth. So, gosh, there's so much that all of us can talk about with Thoth. So I'm just going to kind of share my major connections with him because he's the god of writing, the god of scribing, language, sacred architecture, symbology, mathematics. I mean, like, he really is the god of the universe, right? And for me, he is a very, very powerful reflection because you know how they reflect back, like I was talking about Mother Mary and Isis, Horus and Jesus. This is Thoth and Merlin for me. They are powerful alchemists, like really powerful alchemists. Another Egyptian goddess, which is like up there with alchemy, is Sekhmet, but like Thoth is the ultimate, right? And the tablets of light. This is my original source codings, why I brought through and created and opened the portal for the tablets of light through guidance of Thoth to bring through that coding so others could awaken those codings within themselves, because we all hold a very specific tablet of light specific to the Thoth lineage. And you may not be aware of the fullness of what you carry inside. I mean, you do have an awareness because you've either been to Egypt with me before or you're about to come with me, which is why you're here. So you have that encodement. So yeah, when I kind of went to Egypt and I went there to ask the land for its permission, like straight, it was a no-brainer. He was like, it's tablets of light. This is what you're going to do. So I would just thought it was like, okay, well, that's cool. I'm kind of connected with Thoth. Let me run with that. But then as I anchored the name and I burst the portal, tablets of light did indeed become a proper, like, real functioning tour with real life starseed beings coming to it. Do you know what I mean? It's like I went straight into the work, and I have really, really understood now the depth of what I hold within, which is the Thoth lineage. Now, the reason why this god Thoth is so important is because it takes us right back to the original source codes. And what I mean by that is he teaches the Hermetic teachings. He's the 7 principles. So, you know, I've got all of that in the book reading list, you know, and whether you are aware of these teachings or not, guess what? If I sort of spoke them back to you now, you go, well, wow, I teach about that. Well, I'm all about philosophy. I'm all about alchemy. I'm all about metaphysics. You've already been teaching it. You're just unawares as to actually the level of Thoth frequency that you've been emanating, right? So it's all in us, you know. And the reason why the tablets of light is so important is because it's clearing all distortions and taking everything back to its original idea. Meaning, like, when the tablets of light came through, you know, they let's go back to Atlantis. Okay, Atlantis is where Thoth was kind of like he originates from. He was a high priest. And, you know, when Atlantis fell because the dark forces were released and it became, you know, corrupted and everything like that, that's when everybody, all the high priests like Serapis Bey and Anubis that I've spoken about, they all booked out and they kind of like sent their temples over to Egypt because they had to reestablish another civilization somewhere, because otherwise all of the wisdom would have got lost. So the tablets of light were ultimately apparently found in the Great Pyramid, you know, and there's a very, very powerful coding there between the Great Sphinx and the pyramid. So if you're like me, my signature frequency in a temple is the pyramid. Now we understand why, if you're deeply connected to Thoth, because that's where all this wisdom sits, you know. And each time you go back to Egypt, you will unlock those mysteries within yourself because you hold that coding, because you were back there in Atlantis as well. And that's why we agreed to come into this incarnation as light workers for Thoth, you know, children of the light, coming back to this lifetime again and again and again, to each lifetime unlock these encodements so we could birth this new earth, this lifetime that we're in right now. Do you understand how powerful it is right now? Do you understand the depth as to why you're going to Egypt right now? Why it's like, wow, because it's like, it's so monumentally important. And I think that we don't really realize the fullness of that. So yeah, so basically these tablets of light, you hold them within you, right? All the temples are tablets of light. It's encoded information, sacred information that you agreed to unlock at a certain time to share with the world. So what aspects of Thoth do you hold within yourself? Yes, we can tap into the fact that you're a scribe and you write books, and we can do, you know, all like kind of writings and things like that. But I think going even deeper to that, what's the real, true, ancient encodements that you have? Because when you write books and you have creations and things like that, that's almost like just a byproduct of this magic, amazing, very sacred wisdom you hold within you. What you do with that comes out in an expression of books, of retreats, of, you know, video blogs or whatever. It's just an expression of that, of how you share that in the world. What we want to know about is your tablet of light that you hold within you. That's what Thoth wants you to connect with. And that is why you're coming on the tablets of light, or you've already been with me, or you're going to come again. And it's just going to unlock more and more and more. So let's talk about sacred architecture, because that's one of his big things. Now, I'm all about sacred architecture because my pathway in my life started off as as an exercise specialist, of which I was for 18, 19 years. So I had very, very deep, extensive knowledge and wisdom about how the physical body needs to be able to be strong, to hold so much light. Then I moved away from that. And then I started to work through my light bodies and really unlock my tablet of light, which is why I'm here sat in front of you now, sharing with you what I'm sharing. So, it's all about your sacred architecture, your physical vessel, first of all, because this needs to be strong to anchor the light. Now, let's go a little bit further out than that. So now you've tapped into your tablet of light, and Thoth is like, right, okay, are you going to build a pyramid? What does that look like? You know what I mean? So we all have a pyramid to build, is what he's saying. And it's not going to be a flimsy pyramid. He always has me looking and just connecting with the Great Pyramid in silence in my visions. And he's always saying nothing, because what he wants me to do is really connect with the legacy that was left behind in the Great Pyramid, how long it's been standing. And whatever we bring through in a sacred architecture, in our legacy, it needs to stand the test of time. And it needs to basically stay standing for lifetimes to come, because this is what you're bringing through. So the question is, Thoth is asking you, is what's the level of integrity? How much strength in your creations are you bringing through? Are you 60% downloaded and maybe fear's holding you back? We ain't got time for that. It's not what we're doing. That's why we're going to Egypt, to remember your power, okay? Because you are indeed a light worker, a child of the light for Thoth, for those original teachings. So look, without turning this into a 5-hour video, because there is so much I could speak about with Thoth, but what I will say is, when it comes to stepping, if you're new to the Egyptian stuff and everything like that, what I will say is, when you first start working with Thoth, the Egyptian Neteru. Neteru is Egyptian gods and goddesses, or pantheon. So when you start working with your Golden Council of Light, as I call them, basically what happens is Thoth will always show himself first. He's almost like a spokesperson, a bridge to the rest of the gods and goddesses. So it's not uncommon that you connect with him and work with him first of all anyway. But it's quite funny, isn't it? Because he's what I call Zep Tepi, land of the first time. Then we go around all the other gods and goddesses, and then we come back to the original source codes, which is actually Zep Tepi, Thoth, land of the first time. So it's quite interesting how it kind of like flows, but like that's how I work with him. He helps me with absolutely everything. He is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to putting tours together. I was like, how am I going to do this? And he was just like, don't worry, hun, sit back, I got you. And it took me a long time to trust him, to say that he's got me. But that was my stuff, not his. And now here we are going to Egypt, and I'm able to share all of this magical wisdom that he has shared with me. And no doubt you're going to tap into way more than that anyway. But so this is Thoth. This is essentially the creator of the Tablets of Light tour. I mean, really, let's give him that, plus way more. Thoth.